What's up, everybody? Welcome to Let's Play here on youtube.com/kindafunnygames. I'm Greg. That's Tim. This is Ron Gilbert. He's here to show us Thimbleweed Park through Jen. Hey, Jen, how are you?
Hi, Jen. You're a programmer on this game?
What was that?
What I hear? You are a programmer on this game?
Yes, that is correct.
So now you're going to play it.
And you're the boss, Ron Gilbert.
Yeah.
You crack the whip and say, make it funny or do more of this.
Driver.
Okay.
So everybody's got to get tasks done every day.
Exactly. Now, of course, if you're not watching this live, because we're broadcasting it live from Patreon, Ron Gilbert, you have quite the history. Maniac Mansion, Monkey Island.
Yes.
Now you're here with another quirky, heartful adventure game, point and click adventure game. So walk us through what's happening right now in Thimbleweed Park and let's start playing.
Yeah, so I will. So Thimbleweed Park is the story of these two detectives who are in town to investigate this dead body.
They look familiar.
Found. Well, you know, people think they're Mulder and Scully, right? Which, you know, when Gary and I were putting stuff together, it's like we did not think Mulder and Scully like at all, you know, with this stuff.
Off the edge, so I can't
and so it's like, you know, when we did the Kickstarter, it's like, you know, people went, oh, it's Mulder and Scully. And we were like, no, it's not Mulder and Scully. Not at all. So we kind of need to.
Do you need to do the dot by dot thing, Kev?
No, that's already done.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The UI is getting cut off just off to the edge here, and then there's a really important piece I need to click up here.
Okay.
I can't click it. It's not there.
I just pressed the key.
What?
Okay, we can do it with the mouse. That's all right.
we'll do it with the keyboard.
So there's normally a little UI element here that lets me switch
Greg.
between the
How you doing?
characters, but
PC
Ron's
games.
using the mouse.
Did you ever think about just making console games? This stuff doesn't happen with console games.
I know it doesn't.
I also like it.
Well, this wouldn't happen if you guys weren't live all the time either.
Well, now, I guess we can share some of the blame if you'd like to toss it out, but our audience loves it. Here's the thing. You're going to go show this game to your GameSpots and your IGNs and all these people, and it's going to be flawless and great, and it'll be Danny O'Dwyer will be like, oh, my shillelagh. But we're here showing you the real deal, how it all happens.
Yeah, this is how it happens. This is what it's like. Day in and day out, it's like problem after problem.
Yeah, so your business is just like our business.
It is. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. And then we pretend it all didn't happen and everything works perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Ron, I need to be Ray again.
All right, so we'll switch to Ray. So one of the things about the game is like Maniac Mansion, you can switch characters.
Nice.
Right? So you can play Detective Ray or Agent Ray, or you can play Agent Reyes. And there are puzzles where you have to do, you know, both of them, you know, together. There's 3 other playable characters in the game, and you kind of unlock those slowly. We have these little flashbacks that you play.
Okay.
And then you unlock the other playable characters. So at some point you'll be able to play, you know, all five characters.
Okay.
I like how you just told the dead body to smile as you took a picture of it.
She's heartless.
Yeah.
So we took a picture of the dead body. That's one of the first puzzles you need to do in the game is take a picture of the dead body, and then we're going to head into town and we're going to talk to the sheriff. But we're kind of skipping ahead in the demo of the sheriff, so we're not talking about that. So this is Agent Ray, and she's out in front of the diner, and she's walking around, having fun. Giant guy dressed as a big pizza.
That's what you do.
I already love this. Yeah, this is good.
Of course.
Can you interact with the pizza?
Yeah, we can. We can go ahead and talk to him. So we can select talk to guy with pizza.
Yes.
Yes?
One is free people.
Oh,
man.
Now this, of course, is the problem. God forbid a woman talk to a man on the street. He's going to do all gross and
Are
hit
you
on her.
coming on to me? I think is the correct response.
Whoa.
Yeah, pizza guy. I don't think I understand.
You silly pizza slice.
It's a giant piece of pizza. All right, so we're going to ask if he knows anything about the body.
Gotcha.
You know,
Of course the pizza man knows about the body.
Right.
I bet you it was this guy. Problem solved. Game over. Run the credits.
Pull your gun. Get the cups. There's not even a pizza restaurant around. He's just walking around asking for pizza.
It's always the guy dressed as a giant piece of pizza.
It is, everybody
that
knows
you
that.
focus on, right? From watching Law and Order, and there's a guy with a giant pizza. That's who I think did it.
So
he's kind of freaked out that you know, federal agent's talking to him. So you know, he's kind of.
has it gotten easier to write these kind of games as it's gone on? Because I feel like sitting there and like, all right, you say this to this person, or you have these million options to say, which then triggers these responses. But to get to the puzzle, they need to say this, but say that to do this, to say that. Like, is your mind not a mess? It feels like it'd be Beautiful Mind kind of style stuff. You're writing on walls.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of weird to do. I mean, there are some tools, you know, like Twine is kind of an interesting tool to put together stuff, but I just kind of all do it in my head. It's like I've kind of done it long enough that I just keep it all in my head.
Okay,
for that stuff.
That's scary.
Do you know an Edna? This for a
For a
good
good time,
time.
call Edna.
Yeah, from Maniac Mansion.
Yeah.
There's Sedna.
I like
Remember,
that.
this is
There you
happening
go.
in the same year.
Yeah.
Maniac Mansion.
Yeah,
was
and you
released.
can actually call that number. There are several phones in the game. You can actually call that number and
How does that work?
talk
There's
to her.
eight numbers there.
Well,
can you go
it's,
back in?
it's,
It's a
it's a
game.
special.
Can I call?
No, he
you
said
call
in the game. In the game,
Sorry.
Tim.
game, you
I was
can
getting
call that.
excited. I want to see what Edna's up to.
With all of their budget, Ron went and bought that phone number in every area code.
I guess it makes sense. I don't know how phones work.
So we'll kind of head out. We're going to head up to the Vista. The town of Thimbleweed is probably about 15 or 20 or so locations to
Okay.
it. But the town is just a very small part of the game. As we kind of look out on the Vista, there's a circus down there that the crazy clown lives in. There's the radio station
We're
over
definitely
there.
getting clipped off the top
Oh,
there, but
yeah.
that's
And
all right.
so then we've got the hotel down here, the factory. All of these are very large locations that you kind of get to go in and explore.
Okay.
So it's a very large game. I mean, it feels to us, a lot like, the games like Monkey Island.
Oh, yeah.
They
Yeah.
were large and expansive, and they were almost these open world adventure games, as you can kind of go around and, poke in stuff and do things.
I really like the scrolling of the backgrounds.
Yeah, the
and stuff.
parallax.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things we just could not do back then, at the Lucasfilm stuff. Now it's like computers are so fast. You just kind of throw CPUs at things and you can do really interesting parallax and stuff.
I know it's a question you probably hate. How long is it?
Yeah,
I don't even know how you gauge that,
I
right?
don't
Because it's
know.
up to the player. I'm stupid.
I
This
was
will take me 40
doing a
hours.
press interview yesterday, and they asked me the same question,
Yeah.
and they said, just put it in terms of Monkey Islands, right?
Yeah.
Length. Is it 1.2 Monkey Islands? Is it 0.75 Monkey Islands? I would say this is probably about one Monkey Island.
Okay.
Just
It's
in
a
terms
one
of
Monkey
content.
Island.
It's a
That's
one Monkey
solid-
Island game.
There's
Solid.
Monkey Island 2, not
Yeah.
Monkey Island 1.
There's a one Monkey Island 2.
One Monkey Island 2. Okay.
Now, how are you doing on walking the fine line of making the puzzles hard, but not having the logic be crazy? Because I always hate the one. I hate the ones. I'm
No.
like, you have a light bulb. How do you open the door with it? I'm like, I don't want. I don't know.
Well, you use your shoe.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, I'm
duh,
stupid.
right? Well, I think what we want to do with this game is we want to make it challenging, right?
Yeah.
It should be challenging, but it's all about constructing puzzles in such a way that things are a little bit clear to the players. That you aren't doing things like use shoe with light bulb on door, right? Because that's just crazy.
Right.
But I think if you're using objects how you might conceivably use them in the real world in some ways,
Right.
And that we give you lots of little subtle hints for things, and as you talk to people in the game, they're going to give you a little more hints. Because I think in the old days, it's like we like to kind of push players in the pool. It's like go in, sink or swim, figure it out, and that's what players liked back then. I don't think players today really like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time with how the dialogues are done and how the world is constructed. That were kind of nudging you in certain directions without like pulling you in those directions.
Was that a hard thing to get used to? I guess the changing way gamers felt about it. Because I feel like now when you talk to people, right, everybody wants games as escapism, leisure time, right? So like it is, I ran into this channel, like I think it was something The Witness was running into, right? Or I get into this puzzle and people are going to like GameFAQs to find the answer. And, not Biffle, because I just saw Mike Biffle walking. They had to jump on there and be like, don't do that. You're ruining the game. You know what I mean? Jonathan Blow is like, do not do that. That's not how we, is that weird? Is that a weird thing for you as somebody who likes to challenge people to do?
Yeah, I mean, people who just go and get, walkthroughs and walk through. It's a little frustrating. I mean, if they want to do that, that's fine. But then don't go online and complain about how short my game is, right? if you did the walkthrough stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you want to do that. But, I think directing and focusing players, I mean, it's something we probably should have done back then anyway. And I think that's something I learned, when I started Humongous Entertainment and we made adventure games for kids, right? Because I was coming right off of Monkey Island. Then it was making these adventure games for kids. And kids don't have that same patience.
Sure.
So I think we learned a lot of lessons about kind of focusing and nudging and those kinds of things with the puzzles that I think is very, very applicable today.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I like the setting. I like the story so far. I'm telling you, I'm going to play this one. My butt is usually that like, it's the rare old school adventure game that got me, that got a hook in me. You know what I mean? This one, I like what I'm seeing. And that's always a big thing. My girlfriend, Christine, she's your number one fan.
I don't know her.
You don't know her?
I don't know her.
Yeah, you do. You've met her. You're going to break her heart now. Steimer. that doesn't help you. Anyways, she always yells at me for not like loving every one of your games. You know, and I get that a lot. But I think I'll play this one. I think I'm gonna. I like what I'm seeing, Tim.
I like all the attention to detail. Like, there's a lot of little things. Like earlier when you were looking at the phone booth, there was the phone book, and it was just kind of like
Right,
swaying back just a little bit.
That phone book's actually very important because one of the things we had in the Kickstarter was if you backed at $50 or more, you got your name in the Thimbleweed Park phone book.
Oh, cool.
So if you actually, go look at that phone book, there's like 3,000 names in that phone book, and they're all backers from the game. And you got to record a voicemail message. So if you
cool.
So if you actually call the number in the phone book, you'll get to hear the voicemail that you recorded.
That's awesome. And
I'm checking if you should know Christine.
Okay.
Because if not, we'll set it up right now.
Are you seeing if we're on LinkedIn together?
No, I'm just asking you. She worked at IGN. I can't believe she never met you through that.
I may have met her.
No, it's
I'm
totally- it's
horrible
fine.
with faces.
No,
and
it's
names.
fine. It's fine.
But yeah, I like all the names of the different stores and stuff, and just all the different signs you saw outside, and like the lights being off for some of the LED light or whatever they're
A
called. I don't know.
Restotron 3000.
Yeah, the details are fun. I think when you're doing an adventure game, the world becomes a little bit of the storyteller. As you're putting things into the world, and the things as simple as just the signs that show up, they help tell that story a little bit.
So Ron, where am I going next?
Oh, you just wander around.
Just
Yeah.
wander?
Just wander around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fancy Nancy Flowers. Could you go into the diner?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go to the diner.
Let's do that then.
Why don't we go into the diner then?
Hey, it's your gameplay. Why you want it? We go ahead and talk to Sandy. There's a little flashback where how we introduce the characters. So there's a little flashback here when you talk to Sandy where we introduce Ransom, the insult clown. So
Okay,
so
good.
we could take you through a little bit of that flashback if you want.
Where's the clown right now? Is he over in that vista?
He's in the circus. He's currently he's this clown and he's been cursed, so he can't remove his makeup.
Oh,
no.
cool.
So he hangs out at the old abandoned circus with unable to take off his
That's
makeup.
horrifying.
Yeah. And so when we talk to Sandy, she's going to explain a little bit about, how Ransom got.
Christine, it's Greg. I'm on the live stream. You're on the live stream. How are you?
Oh, hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm with Ron Gilbert, and I was talking. I like his game, and I referenced you, and now I just wanted you guys to meet.
Hello.
Oh,
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good.
Do you get tired of being called and then put on the air live?
He doesn't normally do this to me, actually.
Oh.
Well, I just knew you're a big fan, and I'm watching Thimbleweed Park, and I like it. I want to play this one.
You want to play it? You always do that, right?
No, I don't always say that. That's a lie. You know plenty of games I see, and I'm like, it's not my cup of tea.
Is there going to be a fight here?
We're going to break up on the air. Ron Gilbert tore us apart on the air. All right, well, cool. I'll let you go. I just wanted to
my
let you know.
God.
Oh, we're going to a flashback. I love you. Bye.
This is horrifying in the best way.
We can't see the top stuff at the beginning.
yeah.
That's on us,
About to
remember,
go on
everybody. We
stage
cut that
leaps.
off.
No, we're not doing-
It was censored.
So this is back when he was.
Yeah,
a
so
young-
this is a
young
flashback
clown.
about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And so we're kind of seeing how he got in this predicament where he can't remove his makeup. And there are 5 playable characters. There's 2 agents, and then there's Renzo the Clown, and then there's Dolores, who is a kind of an aspiring game designer and programmer, and then there's Franklin, who actually wakes up dead one morning.
Oh my God.
And so you play these little flashbacks, so you get to see how these characters, kind of got to be who they are, and then once you meet them in the game, then you can actually control them, and they become controllable characters.
So his name is Ransom.
Ransom, yes.
Okay.
Usually that's your first sign.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a good guy.
Uh-oh. He's ready.
Yeah, so he needs to get his nose on and his makeup on. He needs to get his hair done, and he needs to find his joke book. So
I like
those
how
are the
you
4 things.
censor the swear words even in text.
Yeah, I was actually going to have the swearing, because I thought it would be really fun if this clown just swore, and I started to do that, and I was writing it. Then I started to replace it with the beeps, and I found it was actually funnier with the beeps.
No, we do that too in some of our content, like one of our shows, Love and Sex Stuff, which you would think has a lot of swear words. We swear, but then we beep it because it's funny.
Right, yeah.
I think it's funny.
Yeah.
As long as you're enjoying the content.
I am
As long as you're having fun.
Well, I found with writing it, I actually used the beeps in the sentences to kind of, there's all of this cadence to the way he talks, which is really about the beeps that he does, not really the swear words that he would have said. So it's kind of fun to write him.
I like it.
This is awesome. I'm not
you.
lying. Don't listen
Thank
to
you.
Christine. I don't say it to everybody. You know that. I've talked to you before.
Yeah.
Some of your games? No. This one? Yes.
This one?
I'm
So
a-
what's your least favorite of my games?
Oh, why? No, see, but I don't even do that. That's one of the things I haven't played them all. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I remember trying to get into Deathspank.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I liked everything about Deathspank, and I played it for a few hours, and I was like, you know, it's time for me to
Okay.
walk away.
Okay.
But this one, I'm
Okay.
here for. Is that
All
okay?
right. No, that's
Is that
good.
okay?
No,
I don't
that's
mean
good.
that you.
I like honest feedback.
No,
I'm
I'll
somebody
give it
that
to you.
really enjoys honest feedback. Like when I ask people, like I give them
I'm
my
into
game
this.
and I say, hey, let me know what your game is.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear what they liked about it.
Sure.
I want to hear what they hated about it, and I want to hear what they loved about it.
You guys-
Those are the only two things that are important.
The
to
clown
me.
has a mistress. This is important.
I'm sorry. I want to save some illusion for the game, Tim. I don't want to have it all spoiled for me. in the Let's Play.
He called him Beeples.
Well, he's got a mistress and he has a private jet.
Oh.
Right. So what kind of a world does a clown have a private jet?
This
A
one.
good one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
this
that's-
where they just leave
right.
bodies in the river and nobody cares
Exactly.
about it. It's pretty awesome.
This is the world I want to live in where clowns have private jets.
Ladies and
Managers.
gentlemen, this is Thimbleweed Park. Ron, when is it coming out?
It will be out either in October or January.
Oh, okay.
One of those two. Because I think we can make October.
Okay.
But if we can't, we're just gonna like slip it all. the way
Avoid
to
the
there.
holiday-
Yeah,
avoid that,
because
like-
I'm gonna be on Christmas vacation.
Exactly. You don't want to be around
I don't want to
bug
deal
shooting all
with
that stuff.
angry Steam users and stuff.
And that's the question for platforms.
It's going to be out on Mac and PC and Linux, and it will also be out on Xbox and also iOS and Android.
Cool. Have you heard of the PlayStation Vita?
PlayStation
Vita. It's the runaway success handheld. Everyone's a big fan of it. It's got a
Okay.
touchscreen. I'm just saying it might work
Really?
well. I'm just saying
Okay.
put a platinum trophy in it. Don't be a Steve Gaynor. That's all I'm saying. All right.
Don't be a Steve Gaynor.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a Let's Play here on youtube.com/kindafunnygames. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you. And then we're back to the Twitch kids. Hey, Twitch kids. How are you? That was
I like
awesome.
this.
This
All right,
game is
thank you.
fun. Yeah,
This is
yeah.
great.
Oh, thank you.
Ransom,
Thank
the
you.
homie.
Yeah, well, I'm getting up on this one. I'll do it out there. Don't worry, Kevin.
In the hub below, I didn't hit record on the paper.
Okay.
So this will also be good.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. Kevin, don't sweat it so much. Yeah, I'll get it.
Do we have to do
Kevin's
the whole
great.
show over?
Yeah.
Should we start?
This was all a dress rehearsal. I just wanted you to be ready for when the camera did turn on. It would be all set to go.
Who recorded that?
It was a joke.
No, I know.
Kevin, sit over there and be handsome. Thank you both for your time.
Yeah, this is
The
great.
game's a lot of fun. I like
Yeah,
what I'm
thank
seeing.
you.
If for people, obviously, they should follow you on Twitter,
Yes.
Grumpy Gamer.
Yes.
And then is there something they should be .com they should be following for more?
Yeah,
of them?
if you go to thimbleweedpark.com,
Okay.
there's our blog, and we update that blog like 2 or 3 times a week.
Oh, nice.
Where we talk about how we're developing the game, and we show a lot of like in progress, work and screenshots, and we talk about the design that's going on, and I even talked about our budget. I kind of like showed
Okay.
our entire budget for the game
Sure.
and like what we're spending on what, and so there's just some interesting game development factoids. that
Okay,
you can get from
great.
there.
Well, thank you so much, Ron.
All right, yay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
This has
So
been
we can
great.
talk to you more, but he's here again. The celebrity, the contract was a big deal.
I like everything you did. This is good.